And finally, we're going to look at the RCD testing range, running a manual test as well as the auto RCD function. RCD testing. We have the facility to test manually by selecting each of the individual tests, or we have an auto RCD function which is available on our MFT1552 and 1553 models. We also have available a ramp test which allows us to find out at exactly what point an RCD is operating. We can test between 10 and 1000 milliamp RCDs with the range selection switch here, and we can also test for DC and selective or time delayed type breakers. So what we'll do to start with, we'll run through a manual test. So just selecting the times half, as you can see an indication on the display that we don't have mains voltage, so we reset the RCD, mains voltage indication and correct polarity. To select a DC sensitive or time delayed breaker, we utilise the blue test button on the top, and with one short press it will indicate that we're taking up a DC. We can go back to AC breakers, and if you press and hold, and we have the indication come up on the display that we're testing time delayed, and again we can select AC and DC. Today we're just using a standard 30 milliamp breaker, so I'm going to turn off the time delay function and make sure we've selected AC. So the first test we're going to do is our times half. So we start that by a press of the test button on the top of the unit here, and this should time out with a timer greater than 2 seconds, which we've got, that's no problem. So we then go up to our times 1 test, and this is carried out at the 0 and 180 degrees, so that's on the rising and the falling side of the waveform. So again, we initiate the test sequence, we get an indication on the screen, 37 milliseconds. So we'll now reset, select our 180 and start the test. And as you can see, we've got a value of 46.8 milliseconds, the higher of the two being the one that would be recorded for the standard periodic test sheets. We then go up to our times 5, apply our mains voltage and start the test. And obviously this should be much quicker, and we're looking at a trip time of 7.4 milliseconds. We reset, select the 180 and we start the test. And then we have a reading of 17.5. So that's the full sequence. Now obviously the auto RCD function will allow us to carry out a whole sequence of tests by initiating one press of the test button and then standing by the RCD and actually resetting the unit as it runs through the full sequence. So we start the test. First test obviously is our no trip. That's timed out at greater than 2 seconds. And it's automatically run into the test sequence, and it's now testing at times 1 on the rising side. Reapply the voltage, the unit senses it and starts the next test, which is 1 at 180, which is on the falling side, and then we're on to the times 5 tests. And reapply the voltage. Okay, so once we've got the full set of results on the unit, by pressing the red button on the top we can now cycle back through and actually identify. So we've got 0 at times 1 and 180 times 1, and then we've got the 5 times test current at 0 and the 5 times test current at 180. So the next test we're going to do is actually carry out a ramp test, and we're going to identify exactly at which point the RCD is operating. So again, I've selected a standard 30 milliamp. So once the mains voltage is applied, we can start the test by pressing the test button, and the unit will start ramping up from 15 milliamps. And here we can see that this unit is operating at 25. last thing I'm going to talk about is the Bluetooth function, which you find within the MFT1553. And with this, as I explained earlier, allows you to actually fire a single result from the unit directly into a Bluetooth enabled PDA smartphone or laptop. So what we're going to do here is actually show you how to pair the MFT with one of those devices. Now the laptop I have here is running a standard Windows XP. So we start this by running in to our control panel and we select our Bluetooth devices. As you can see, I don't have any devices currently paired. So we select Add, and it's asking me now to make sure that my device is set up and ready to be found. So what we would then do is on the MFT1553 we have one additional range, which is our Bluetooth setup range. We select the Bluetooth function, press and hold down the red key, and we get an indication on the display that the unit is now ready and searching to be paired with a Bluetooth enabled device. So we click Next. And as you can see, the laptop has found our MFT1553. So we select that unit, click Next, and it's now asking us to input the passkey that's found within the documentation. All of these units have exactly the same passkey, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the pairing. So we've now successfully paired our MFT with our Bluetooth enabled laptop. So just to show you how we fire a result utilising the Bluetooth function on the MFT1553, I'm going to select a 500 volt insulation test. I'm going to press the test button. And we've got a reading on there of greater than 299 megohms. Now within our PowerSuite software, all we need to identify is which particular insulation test value that is. And we do that by just pressing on the red button and we cycle through to indicate whether it's a phase earth, phase neutral earth or phase. I'm going to select a phase earth test and press and hold, and that result will be transferred to the PowerSuite. So that concludes our presentation on the Megger MFT1500 series. If you have any additional questions, all of our products carry a full lifetime technical support. You can speak to them on Dover 01304 502 102. And if you're looking to purchase one of the units, they're available through our authorised distribution network, through electrical wholesalers or through a catalogue company. Details of which can be obtained from our sales office on 01304 502 101. Thank you.